Yes. Hello to everyone, Witty Storytellers and guests. We begin our Zoom panel discussions. We have a very distinguished panel, as you can see them, 3 presidents. Svetlana, president of Witty Birds, Brian Dodd, hello. Brian Dodd, president of Great Communicators in Virginia, and Misako, president of Buddies. Now, yes. Each of them have very different experience, but a lot more experience of Zoom than me. So I am looking forward to learn from each about their special experience. And I know that most of them had first discovered Zoom through Brian, but I still would like first Svetlana tell us how he fell in love. Svetlana, it is up to you.
Thank you, Julie. Well, I have a little story to tell before I tell you how I fell in love with Zoom. Yes, and left GoToMeeting. Once upon a time, there was a language teacher who used Skype until she discovered that there were students who didn't have Skype in their campus. Then she started using Hangouts on air until she was exhausted by poor connection for group sessions. And she started using free versions of WizIQ.
Your voice is a little bit shaky when you shake your hand.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I know why, because it produces a traffic jam on the internet. Too much movement. So I know that, and thank you, Julie. Thank you for telling me. Although, you know, my hands are the extension of my brain, and it's very difficult for me not to use my hands when I'm talking. But I will try. I will try because voice is very important. So that online language teacher started using free versions of WizIQ and GoToMeeting at the same time. The guys in the WizIQ made her think that the name of the game was cooperation. She was made to think that WizIQ was a nascent, new giant like Microsoft. And all it needed was patience and cooperation on her side. So she had endless video sessions with them. She bought additional wire. And whenever there was an incredible noise online, it was her fault. She had to go on with her cooperation. With GoToMeeting, which was a very, very classy guy, very high maintenance guy, the story was approximately the same. Everything that was going wrong was her fault. But the language teacher was also the Toastmaster who moved from London to Washington near Newcastle in the UK. From dozens and dozens of vibrant Toastmaster clubs in London to a place where there were only 3 Toastmaster clubs at war with each other and all equally far away from her place. But she still attended them and she gained her next award with them. and her Toastmaster angels came to the rescue. She learned about the first, or almost the first, online club, Firebird, and she became the first post-charter member of that club. The online Toastmasters, the good guys, the Firebirds, were using the GoToMeeting. They were the knowledgeable and advanced Toastmasters, technologically equipped and very savvy. They were also very generous with their software, with their tech support. And the club, which this teacher organized together with her colleagues, the new 100% online human club, Witty Storytellers, used the software that was provided by the Firebirds, as well as their technical support. Okay, so with IQ and also with GoToMeeting, you know, it was said that the only reason for all of the shortcomings was that she was a free rider. So she had to buy the professional or the upgraded version, which she did only when she founded this new club, and then they had enough money to buy. Oh, by the way, Witty Storytellers was not the only online club which wanted to use GoToMeeting, but didn't have enough funds to buy it. So we were approached by various clubs who wanted to build up partnership for the sake of buying GoToMeeting, which we eventually did on our own when we had fees. But there were also some hidden costs, and we were ashamed of talking about them. We actually bought appliance software, appliance replay software at our own expense to be able to record our meetings. And of course, there was one other very important glitch that came up. The one who owned appliance replay, the one who recorded the meetings and processed them, and then uploaded them, was not heard. Her voice was not heard in the final recording. But who cares? That was her fault, of course. And one day, she was invited by Brian to Royal Road Toastmaster meeting. Royal Roads was half online and half brick and mortar club. And Svetlana, that is the teacher, that is me, used to call Brian a treasure, although he was the treasurer of Witty Storytellers. But she called him a treasure because it was him who introduced her to Zoom. Zoom was the one that was used at Royal Roads, as if somebody peeled off the film of her eyes. Wow, Zoom! Everybody looked like they were Hollywood stars. The visual quality was excellent. The hearing quality was impeccable, and it was free. Wow. Zoom was so intuitive that whenever she wanted to use a function, it was brought close to her eyes for her just to click. She didn't have to look for anything. She recorded her meetings in 3 different formats. Wow, wow. And when the time came for her to pay for the group sessions, for the upgraded version, it was 3 times less than GoToMeeting. Her love is still there, and my love for Zoom is still there, and I will let my colleagues to talk more about Zoom, and I will enjoy every minute of it. Thank you.
As I understood at that time, when you went to visit Brian's club, he was using the 40-minute free
Exactly.
Zoom. And later you discovered also that when you speak only with one student, you can go farther than 40 minutes. And you were
Unlimited, exactly.
Yes?
Exactly. It was unlimited. Even the free version was unlimited when it's one-on-one. Exactly.
So, Brian, can you tell us your story of what you did with Zoom first and now late this month?
Yeah, my introduction to Zoom was through George Marshall. Some of you may know him. He's in District 57. He's one of the leaders in Pathways because District 57 is in Pathways. And I met George through when Firebirds didn't exist. I mean, we were meeting then as netizens, and then we broke into two groups. So George and Susan Ellsworth and I did a session on Zoom one day, and we were fairly impressed with it. We were using, I think we were using the free version at that time, and we what I always say, kicked the tires and tried the platform out. But we were comparing it to a commercial version of GoToMeeting. And we thought, well, it didn't seem to have this, and it didn't seem to have that, and you know, trying to justify our first choice of GoToMeeting. Well, as Svetlana said, Royal Road started using Zoom a little over a year ago for their meetings, and we were trying something new as the Toastmaster Club. We had been approved the year before to have online guests and members, but we went through different things, you know, like Google's Hangouts. We never did try Skype. There's a few others that we tried, and we couldn't master it. It was, you know, it was just sort of impossible. And then I was introduced, as I say, at that time, I became a member of Firebirds, and we got used to GoToMeeting with Manhal being our support person all the way through. And anytime we had a problem, I mean, he could solve the problems. But from that meeting of the Zoom thing, I started reading little bits and pieces about Zoom. And it was an up-and-coming one. And suddenly, the ratings on Zoom started to zoom higher and higher. So one of our benefactors at Royal Roads, and a member, he was so impressed with it that he went out and bought the pro version for Royal Roads Toastmasters. And he uses it in his coaching profession, where he goes online, just like Svetlana, with one-on-one people around the world. And he can also use it in more than one-on-one. And when you own the pro version, you begin to, you know, get under the hood, as they say, and you begin to find out these little features that you have. But there was a lot of people still comparing it to say, well, you know, the Cadillac GoToMeeting, mind you, other people would say, well, WebEx is better and all that type of stuff. And I've used quite a few. In fact, I've used some that don't have any names anymore because they don't exist. I've been in the field that long that I remember, you know, dialing up on the old modems that used to sound like you were surfing. I don't know how many of you remember that. I'm sure that Julie does. And slowly we came around and we found out these little things that we could do. And with our Firebird friends from London, England, who would come into our noon meeting that we were having at Royal Roads, we were trying to hold a meeting where we were actually in the room and online. We had television, and they were online. We have a few pictures of that. But the students didn't want to come in there for some reason. But we kept going. Yeah. And last summer, we decided that there wasn't enough students around at that time, so we just kept the meetings going strictly as Zoom meetings for the whole of the summer. And that meeting has slowly increased and increased in the number of people who come to the meetings. And we can go on for as long as we like, but one thing, as Toastmasters, we're very conscious of the time. So we try to keep our meetings within time, because other people, like this other club that I've just joined, where we were dialing in, I was using Skype to dial in. Julie, I forget what Julie was using. I think she was using something else, and it was difficult. We were dialing into a room, audio only. And then that was for a couple of months we went like that. And then it struck me, why don't we have a Zoom meeting for the members of this club that is in Virginia, in Alexandria, Virginia, that Judy and I belong to, where all the members of the online portion of the meeting, we're using Zoom now, the pro version of Zoom. And we had the meeting room dial into us. Well, it was like night and day. All of a sudden, we could see each other and we could hear the participants in the room, providing they were speaking toward the mic. As soon as they moved their head away, they had a little problem with that. But these are the little challenges that you come up with. And I've had lots of people say, I remember back in the old days, if you can say that, about 12 years ago when I joined Toastmasters, they frowned on you if you tried to use a slideshow. They said, no, you can't use that technology. But all the conventions that I went to were using that kind of a technology to do their presentations. So they got over the fear of that. And, the slideology, as my friend Vic Lindo calls it, is acceptable today. And the online thing is slowly working its way throughout the world. And I'm sure that we will get there faster to half a million members in the online community than it ever took Toastmasters to get there using the old traditional method. However, let's not forget that Ralph Smedley was using a new invention called the telephone. And they used that a lot in the early days in Toastmasters. Madam Chair.
Misako.
Yes.
It's your turn now to tell us about
Thank you so much, Julie. I'll be happy to. My first encounter with Zoom was, thank you to Mathilde, that was February, Interclub speech contest. I was contacted by Moses and he introduced me Zoom. I thought, Zoom, I never heard of it. And he said, oh, you can learn like Zoom. It's aptly named. Just go to the website and see how it goes. So I went to the Zoom website and it was Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. I already know how to enter the meeting room. And contest, it was a nerve-wracking experience, but on Zoom, I was able to see everyone on the screen, and someone is smiling with me, and someone is sitting back or come too close to me. I was feeling that I was not alone. But the contest time was not favorable for the west coast of the United States. Brian knows we all started like midnight. Then my turn came 2 a.m. or something. I was totally alone. owl outside was hooting. That was only noise I heard. But in front of me, fantastic Toastmasters from New Zealand, Europe, and Scandinavian, and Asia, and Philippines. And unfortunately, I didn't see anyone from my home country and looking for and slide a page, and I found one Japanese guy was there, and that was my Zoom, my in love with Zoom moment. Anything else? GoToMeeting is fantastic program for webinar for four panelists speaking each other, and other ones are just recipient. But Zoom, we can interact each other. And recently I found spotlight feature. I was just casting on Kevin when he bring out green and yellow. And I'm still practicing how long should I be casting the yellow or red. But it is always improving as we improve. And one really good thing is that we are on the cutting edge of technology. Everyone else is still, for example, my home club is traditional home club I'm in love with, but they don't really know anything about online. They are just online. Oh, it's not gonna work. That's their opinion, and I inviting them, and they don't seem to be able to get the grasp what's going on right now. We are talking European people, and then Zalzi from Philippines, and Kevin is moving to Korea, to New Zealand, and everybody's there. I just love being in a driver's seat and doing zooming with everybody. And unless you are behind the wheel, you don't get the feeling of improvement. The spirit of Toastmaster is learning by doing, and Zoom is giving us learning by doing. And in this supportive environment, where else is better place to practice and play around, and Zoom is adding feature after feature. Every month, almost every month, they have a blog, and I've been checking, and it's becoming lighter, faster, and zooming even better. And we are driving with zooming speed. I love this feature, and often we encounter using smartphone, computer, especially Microsoft owns something. I feel I don't own this. I'm just being told what to do, and I don't really care for the feeling. But with Zoom, we are in charge. I love this feeling, and I'm in love with meeting everybody smile, and oh, okay, she's not listening. Okay, I can see him. How I can entice her or him. I love practicing seeing the audience reaction. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, Misako. I would like to, no, it is not finished our time, but I would like to hear a little bit also how you
Sure.
managed when suddenly you had many people coming to your meeting.
Sure. Yes. If you are using Zoom Pro account like I do, you can have 100 audience at one meeting, and you just need to pin the video. There's a feature if you are co-host or host, and you can pin the video who can be online. The host can arrange the video who should be in front of the seat, and also timer need to be come out from the behind. The host can arrange the video setting, and usually in Toastmaster setting, Sergeant at Arms is the best role to do it, and she or he explain how it works, how mute and unmute, it's easy. And when meeting starts and everybody's jammed up, and who is the speaker, and Sergeant at Arms is in charge. Oh, this is the speaker. I am going to spotlight her, and this is the timer. Okay, it's 5 minutes past. I'm going to cast Kevin on the spotlight, and I'm unspotlight, and all kind of feature I love about Zoom. Especially when we have more than 30 people. We had a speech workshop with world-class speech coach one time, and we had 42 participants, but we were able to manage who is the timer, who is listening, and we just bring the most enthusiastic people in front of the first page. So that is the fantastic feature of Zoom. Thank you. 7 minutes.
Before I will ask the audience to ask questions, I have some questions from the panel. And you will tell me who want to answer. First of all, about the voice. How you mute or unmute, how you stop the video. And what I didn't understand until yesterday almost, how you put a picture instead of your name when your video is not on.
Well, I don't mind answering that.
Like this one.
Yeah, you have, yes, Julie, a good picture that you picked of yourself. I don't know where, sometimes the menu is at the bottom of the screen. You have to kind of move your cursor down to the bottom of the screen. You'll see a menu there that says the participants and how many participants in the meeting. And you can spring that open so that it can attach itself either to the side of the screen that you're looking at, or in my case, I could break it away and send it over to another screen that I have going. And you move up beside the names of the person. And there's a few things you can do. You can mute that person. You could rename that person. Usually you rename yourself, but you can rename the person. And the one thing that Misako was talking about, if you move up into the little square or the thumbnail, it depends on which view you're looking at, you can actually, that's where you get to pin somebody as being the important person that you want to have on the video. For example, I can pin Julie's picture so that she is the prominent screen that we see. And when she speaks, there she is. So it's very simple. It's very simple. Once you get the basics of the menu that is there and how to get at it. By the way, I even learned the other day that you just press the Alt button and it'll show up. Something I didn't know.
Excuse me, can you tell us again? You just what do?
Well, if you want to, if you don't know where to find that menu, hit the Alt button, the ALT button, and the menu will show up, and it'll stay on the screen, you know, until you don't want it, and then you can press the Alt button again, and it'll go away. I don't know if it works the same. This is I'm using a PC version. Whether it works the same on the iPad.
Thank you very much, Brian. I would like to know who can answer me the question which I asked, I think. How you put your picture instead when you stop the video instead of your name. Misako?
I found it yesterday after we talked. When you provided a join link, and if you click it without your Zoom account, it becomes just a name. And you use your browser, go to your Zoom account and log in, and going back, your picture shows up. So I couldn't find in Zoom this feature, but you need to go web browser to Zoom account, then rejoin. That will, so today you are probably log into Zoom website as you, Julie. And yesterday I just gave you link abruptly and you clicked it without logging in. That caused just show your name. I believe, I think. That's my knowledge so far. But if you know any more, help me out, please.
I went later at night at an advanced Zoom meeting, and they told us that if you have your own personal, non-paid, non-professional Zoom account, there is a setting there where you can put a picture. And if you open that account before you come to a pro Zoom meeting, your picture remains.
Yes.
They somehow remember.
That is true, because today I just clicked on the link that was provided on Facebook, and so I did not log in from my account. Otherwise, you would see my picture when I stop video, and today it's not the case.
Yes, and you'll notice the R&R Toastmaster. That picture there is our friend Victor Lindell. It's the picture that he posted there long time ago, and since I've signed in as Royal Roads, we wind up with his picture there that he has posted there. But I would like to remind you, any of you can sign up for your own free account, doesn't cost you any money, and you can put your picture there, so when you sign in, it comes in from your account and you have your picture showing instead of your name.
So
I like that feature.
Yeah, there are still things to discover, and one possibility, of course, is to do like a 5-year-old kid, click everywhere and try everything, and click and see if I click here, what happens, and if I click here, what happens. And if I click here, what happens? I am full screen, I exit full screen. I can play with it, and that is how I discovered that, for example, if I go near the stop video and go video settings, there is something that is called touch up my appearance.
Oh yes, I like that one.
And suddenly,
You suddenly look 10 years younger, Julie, if not more.
suddenly everything is different. I am not sure it is better, but you can do it. So, and yesterday with Misako, we tried even the green screen feature, and suddenly I disappeared. And unless I looked up like this to the light, my face was not visible. So here is Misako with a green screen which works for her, with a background. But
yes, I don't have green screen like you do. This is Zoom is doing feeding from my image. So it's not as much as sophisticated I was hoping, because I move my hand, it disappears. I move a lot, so it doesn't catch up with me. But this is a very interesting, I don't have to hide my messy room if I was using. So this is, I thought this is very helpful.
we have to learn to use different things.
Yes. In Zoom, it is very interesting.
Thank you. I would like to take questions from the audience. You ask through me, and I will ask panel members. That is, it seems, how panel works. So who would like to ask the first question? You just have to unmute yourself and raise your hand, really. There is a way to raise your hand in Zoom also, but I think for the moment is enough to just raise hands. No question?
I would like to explore our breakout rooms feature. I believe Brian knows
But not today.
how to do it.
I
Not
understand.
today.
So
Yes.
we can tell that if needed, we can break in different rooms and be half here, half there, and that is wonderful.
I believe
So, Gretchen, can you ask a question? You unmute yourself. Yes. From all the way from Colorado.
Yes. I guess we're all the way from somewhere tonight, aren't we? Or early this morning or wherever it may be. I can't, let me think for a minute. I guess I have so many questions about Zoom, I don't even know where to begin. Can you tell me what the price point is for the different upgrades?
$100, $100 plus dollars, 140
A year.
a year.
114 a year for a pro?
Yes, 140.
$149.99 for $150
$150
a year.
Wow,
Yeah. US, of course.
that's good. That's good to know because with clubs needing to pay for the platform, especially if you're looking at combined brick and mortar and online.
I understand. First thing you can do also to pay for 1 month only, like Michelle, our president, did. She bought herself for 1 month Pro Zoom to try it out. That is another possibility when you want to discover more than the free Zoom. But I think the first thing is to just get the free one and try it out for 40 minutes and try everything it can do and then go further.
And I'm using an iPad, so that'll be interesting to see what the difference is in the functionality between an iPad and a PC.
Yes, what they show when I went to Zoom meeting, they show an iPad on the table in the conference room, and they say that you can do everything with iPad than with a computer when you use Zoom. Mathilde, would you like to ask a question? We don't hear you.
Do I need a special additional software for the green screen feature Misako is using,
No,
for example?
You don't need additional software. You need a green issue.
Okay.
But the feature that Misako is using is in there, and I believe it's in the free version too, because I was looking at that, and as Judy did, because of my white hair, I disappeared into the background. I was in some leaves or something, and you could see my nose and teeth and my glasses, and that was about it. But that part of it is free. You don't even.
So where is it?
I'm using Personify software, and when you install into your computer, it shows in your Zoom video video choices, and you can use your own video if you have external video or internal video, and probably always last one is the software. It can integrate with Zoom. So I'm just using Personify Chrome Cam. It's free. I'm still playing. If I find something better, I will let you know.
Okay.
Thank you.
And
So
Mark,
are you using, it's a green screen? Are you using Personify
no,
Chrome Cam for green screen?
it's like this, and I'm going to change the Personify. Right now, I'm not doing anything, and it changes. It's just like changing camera. It gives a little bit of blink, but this is easy. And if we can use for speech, that is interesting feature for future speeches. But unfortunately, it's a little bit off. I lose my hand or half my face. Probably I have tan skin color blends into background easily, like Brian's white hair.
Yes, and
Julie disappeared.
the Firebirds PR person, now I forget her name. She's been using green screens on us for all the time, and fantastic. You know, takes us on many different journeys. And she actually doesn't use a green screen because she said when she tried the green screen, because of her white hair, she had white hair like Judy and I, and her hair. So she had to get actually a physical blue screen or blue sheet so that it would show up. So you don't need to go and expend the $18 right away, but you do need to, you know, you can do some checking with just some ordinary sheets.
It is not $80, Tisu.
18.
You can buy this 15 or 20, but you need to put somewhere. George, would you like to ask a question?
Well, a couple of questions. I'm just sitting here in Oregon listening. It does seem like the sound quality is a little bit more dicey than we had with the GoToMeetings. I suddenly would not be able to understand somebody's comment. Now, this could be because of communication problems on my end, or it could be that there's an origin problem where somebody, like Svetlana said, was crowding with the traffic just a little bit too much, moving and also talking. So I'm trying to pin that down. I'm listening pretty closely and trying to make sure that the sound quality. So I'm a little questioning of the sound quality so far. But a second question would be, it seems like this product is rapidly being improved and worked on because there's been a number of people who've said that the initial versions of this were not as good as the current versions, and they seem to be strengthening it. I just wonder if there's any instructional videos on YouTube or someplace like that. So, for example, I have a Mac, and so some of the suggestions Brian made, I never did find the menu, but it could be that it's my failure here with a Mac computer. I could probably get a iPod to help too. I noticed the one lady from Colorado who had the iPod, that was an excellent image, at least on my end, and I thought her words were very clear, and so that's a really rather underpowered computer compared to a laptop or something. So that indicates that probably the software is pretty good, and that the computer itself, if it's just has really basic qualities, can do a pretty good job. So that's my impression from mostly watching tonight.
Okay.
Brian, though, may know.
Thank you. We'll have to see.
Brian may know of some YouTube videos or instructional videos.
Voice. Indeed, I understand. I think Gretchen has something to say about voice. You wrote in the... Yes?
Oh, I was just saying that I agree the voice quality isn't as clear as I thought it was in GoToMeeting. I haven't missed any words from anybody so far. I do want to address the iPad. Even in Firebirds, with using it with GoToMeeting as well, it works really well. The camera is, I think, far superior to almost any webcam that you'll find, because that's part of Apple's mission is to have great cameras, and as you notice, it picks up very nice natural tones. And the other advantage is I'm not looking at a screen that is reflecting a bunch of blue light onto my face. So that's part of the reason that the image looks so good. It's
Thank you.
really built for that.
I see that Zaldi is here, and I know that from his country, often it is very bad bandwidth, and he uses also Zoom now for the emperors. Can you tell us a little bit, or ask, about your problems?
Sometimes when bandwidth goes down, Zoom will just disappear from the screen. But when the bandwidth comes back, Zoom automatically comes back also automatically. I don't have to do any reset. So as far as I do have a pro account subscription with Zoom. It only costs $150. That's why I got it over GoToMeeting. And the only flaw I had ever encountered with Zoom is whenever there is an outage in Amazon Web Services, because Zoom is hosted in AWS. So there was months ago that there was an outage in AWS and Zoom was practically unusable.
I understand.
I'd like to make a point that
Brian, just one moment. There are still two people who never ask a question. Let's ask the question and then we will listen. Okay? So, Mark, I seen that you are here. Can you ask your question?
Sure. I'm sorry, did you want to ask me a question, or are you asking if I have a question?
You can ask a question, or you can tell us something if you want. That's
okay, I was just typing into the chat the comment that somebody made about a hummingbird noise in the background can often be encountered when somebody is using a laptop and is not using an external microphone or an external headset, is relying on the microphone and speakers built into the laptop, and the laptop picks up the noise of the fan that's built into the laptop. So the way around that is always make sure you use a headset, or in my case, I'm using a conference speaker, which is separate from the laptop.
Thank you. That is a very useful information. So perhaps my Macintosh is humming.
Possibly.
My headset gave out of me, doesn't work anymore. Kevin, do you have a question? Or Garoid? You are the two one who never asked any questions. I know that you keep the time also, but we don't look really at time now anymore. We just would like to have a discussion.
My questions that I would have had have been covered. Bandwidth, sound would be two things I've encountered, and several occasions I have crashed, but I don't think Zoom has ever crashed on me. GoToMeeting did crash a few times, but yeah, I'm quite pleased with Zoom actually for its reliability. I think it doesn't help that we're all operating on different bandwidths, and I think that actually has the biggest factor on sound. No matter what background noise that come through, I think
operating on different bandwidths is a major factor. But I think that will improve worldwide as time goes by.
Matilde, yes. Can you tell me how you decided that Zoom is better for inter-club contest than GoToMeeting?
It was a matter of fact of how many people could join, and we were thinking about with which technology we could do it.
Yeah, and thank you. And just before Brian speaks also, I just would like to answer one question. Yes, Zoom has not only a lot of examples how to do things, but also almost every day a class, a 1 hour teaching, when you can subscribe before, put your name, your email, and so on. And you can listen to that 1 hour and even at the end ask some questions. And they are doing that nowadays very aggressively, separately for beginners, separately for advanced users, telling different things. And you just go to Zoom and look, and you can put your name for one of them. Brian?
A couple of things that I'd like to point out is maybe you saw the picture of Zaldi where it suddenly shrunk in size. And what Zoom is doing there, it recognizes that Zaldi's in a low bandwidth area. So it reduces the size of the picture in order to keep the quality of the sound better. And I noted there's a big difference between where Svetlana is. When she was using GoToMeeting in the beginning, she would be just a work of art because there was no picture of her really. It was just different colors. And mind you, she's got a better connection too. And a lot of that is in the connection speed that you have. And the point about the, you can go on to Zoom's help and type in a question, and they'll find a video for you for that one particular thing. You don't have to sit there for an hour. You can get a 5-minute video or something. They have them posted on YouTube, and they have them posted on their own website.
That is wonderful. Could you write it also on the chat box? That is a very, very good suggestion also. Kevin, would you like to tell us something or ask a question? What is your experience?
Okay. As just a regular kind of participant here, I'm not seeing a big difference between GoToMeeting and Zoom. I think if I were the host, co-host, and I see there's a lot more features here. But as a regular participant, I'm kind of okay either way. I can see where Zoom might be a little bit better, but I don't see where I'm like really blown away. Like, this is a lot better. It's just, it's good, it's adequate, as is GoToMeeting.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We have still a long way to go, that we are really in love, like Svetlana or Brian with Zoom. Yes? You would like to tell something? Mark?
Yes. In relation to the question about contests, I haven't used GoToMeeting for a long time, but Zoom does have breakout rooms with the ability to segment online participants into different rooms, which is incredibly handy if you want to have a sequestration area for table topics, for instance, where you put put somebody into a room away from the competition, and then you put them back into the contest. To my knowledge, the meeting doesn't have that.
From time to time, it can be very important, even if not many times, to use it. And in storytelling, of course, we wouldn't use very much either share screen, but sometimes we can share screen, of course, in GoToMeeting also. A little bit easier, perhaps, in Zoom. So we have to learn.
Sure.
Then you go to advanced features. I had the impression, but of course that was because we had a very, very good conference speaker, that Zoom could do more and faster because they are a team which wants to progress from San Jose. Anyway, I think we had a wonderful panel. If someone wants to conclude, I would ask Svetlana to begin, go through the panel again. This Misako and Brian, they really told us their real personal stories and relation with Zoom, which I think it is our specialty, Witty Storytellers also. Svetlana, are you there?
Says she's there on the list.
She's there, but we begin with you, Brian.
Okay. Yeah, I've been always there on the cutting edge. I'd get a piece of software and I would run it till I've got all the features in it, and then you have to go and buy a newer version, of course. And same with computers. And me, I've always been price conscious. I guess that's my accounting background that I have, and comparing apples to oranges. And there was an orange computer, if you didn't know that went way back around the time that Apple came out. So, and really, it's a kind of software that you can actually play around with, like Julie said. You can play around with it, find the features, and you can get one-on-one. You can get your one free, register yourself for your free version, find a friend, and they can do the same thing, and you can go together, and you can share information on the screen. You can share screens. You can even work together on the screen. There's a whiteboard there that you can break out, and both of you work on something and designing something. So there's limitless things that you can do with this product. I believe that, well, the whole industry of that communications that we're into now is the tip of the iceberg. I mean, wait till we say, hit our compact thing on our chest and say, beam me up, Scotty. And I'm waiting for that day.
Thank you, Misako.
Sorry, I prepared what to say, but Brian just beat me up. I loved Kelvin just said he didn't see much difference. That is a beauty for attendees. So we don't want to surprise guests and Toastmasters from new members to come to Zoom, and all of a sudden they were shocked what to do. Zoom doesn't give any unpleasant surprise. That's a good point. And I also love to share one screen. Just I think this is it. I collected some Zoom help center for iOS, Gretchen, and George and Zoom manual PDF version if you would like to read, and basic live training short video. Those are all 1 minute to 2 minutes. So I sent the link in the chat room. That is my conclusion. Thank you so much. I love looking at everyone.
Thank you so much. Svetlana,
Yes.
could you tell us your conclusion very shortly?
Oh, yes. I just wanted to say in conclusion that this is apparently a new generation of software, which makes you feel like it's not you who is for the software, but it's the software that is there for you, right? That's the key point. And also I wanted just to add that whenever I have unstable connection and I get disconnected, Zoom reconnects by itself. I don't need to do anything for that.
That
Yes.
is wonderful. So we have something that is for us and not us for them. That is indeed very important. And everyone having spoken, I will stop the recording and we can chat. The panel is finished. 1 hour.
Thank you.
Exactly.